Well, welcome. This is the garage. It's a work in progress. Trying to make room for the Mustang, so David can work on it. You can see the reflection of some lights project that we were working on the other day. That'll be up posted soon. But anyway, he was working on the master cylinder, and hood's closed. And then this morning, I woke up to a bunch of messages of some progress he's made, so he got a little carried. So this is our 1965 Mustang. It is running and driving. He was working on the brakes. He didn't make it that far. He got it tore apart, and then apparently got carried away, because there's the back seat, and we have the board between the trunk, which is nice and moldy, so that's not good. And then you look inside, you can see all the way to the trunk, and it looks like he's been working on cleaning the rust out with a wire wheel. Try saying that early in the morning. But he's definitely been making some progress. He unfortunately removed the boot lid without, deck lid, trunk, whatever you guys want to call it. And it doesn't look like he put any locating marks in it to realign it, so that's going to be a fun project. But it's definitely living up to its name of being a Mustang, which is nothing unusual, but you know, gives us a challenge. The more you find rusty, the worse it seems to get. So I'll post you his videos next here in a minute, and you can see the mischief that he got up to on his own. But I'm just looking through here, and that is definitely another hole. The rest of it doesn't seem too bad. There's a hole right there behind the seat belt. That whole bracket doesn't look safe. I think we've opened a can of worms up, David. Alright, need your guys' advice. I don't think this is a great paint to use. He picked up some paint the other day in hopes that it would work. So this is the paint he wants to coat everything in, which is not what we need. We need something that transforms rust and stops it. That is more of a protective coat for newer metal. This is not newer metal. This is rusty. So looks like the garage is not going to use for a while without the Mustang. Anyway, I'll post you his videos here, and excuse the editing.
So I realized I was not filming this. I ordered my trunk panel replacements over here. So I have the left and the right side, and then the trunk brace. That's to fix this spot of rust here, this spot of rust here, and then the rust that's down here, just to replace everything back here, the whole trunk pan essentially. And then in cleaning this out and getting it prepped, I wired wheel down here, and I did not realize how bad this corner was. It was held together just by the paint. The rest of it's in good condition though. It's just right here that fell apart. So I'm gonna order one of those off of CJ Pony Parts here soon. But this side is all really good. There's a little bit of bubbling out near the fender well. However, that's not too bad. And then the rest of it's all in good condition. So I'm gonna leave that one how it is, and I'm gonna cut this one out and put in a new panel just to get ready for paint. Then we're gonna replace this one. This one, I took off the trunk lid, and you can see it's in the back seat there. So that will go back on eventually. But I forgot to film me taking that off. I'm gonna probably drop the gas tank next, drain that because there's a drain plug on the underside, and then remove all of that so I can clean the set. I'll probably remove the back seat too, so I have access to that side just to clean that up, get that ready for paint as well. So I removed the top and bottom of the rear seat. They are just clip in place, so they don't require any tools to get out. You can take them out by hand, which is really nifty. And then they had some noise insulation to keep the noise road down from the rear diff, and then they had a piece of cardboard. I'm going to remove this because you can see the mold that was on it from sitting in the field. So I was going to try and remove it in one piece, but it just wants to keep crumbling apart, as you can see here. They just spray painted the back of it black, it appears. So I can just cut out a new piece of cardboard or order one offline. So I've removed the rear seat, and I've removed the insulation that was here, the insulation that was here, all of that fun stuff. So it was about 50, maybe 70 pounds of insulation. I'm still removing some down here like this. This is all flaky, so I'm going to get all of this out, and then I'm going to get all of this out and ready for paint, and then I'm going to wire wheel everything. Just get all the noise cancelling bits out. But it's coming together good. This is going to get wire wheeled back here because there's no deep pitting rust. It's all just surface rust here. Nothing horrible. But, you know, it's all coming together. I'm going to drop the gas tank in a second, fix the rust back there. But then that should be everything besides the headlights and the turn signals to pass inspection. So it's coming together pretty well. I got to put the brakes back together later. Oh, this is getting rambly. I'll cut to the next part now. I got all of the seatbelt connections out, except for this one right here. For some reason, they made the ones on the underside, all the bolts, be a different size than all of the nuts. It's 5/8 and like 11/16 are the two sizes, which I don't know why they did that, but they did. And this is the only seatbelt point that is rusty in the floor, and it wants to give out, but it hasn't yet. So I'm not gonna trust that with anybody's life. So this is why I'm trying to get it out, but you know, all the other ones were super easy, and yet this one is being a pain in the butt. So I think I'm gonna wait until I can have an extra pair of hands so I can hold a ratchet underneath, and then somebody else can hold a wrench on top or something so we can get her off. We got the rest of that out and done. So now we come up here, and she is almost ready to get wire wheeled, which, you know, she doesn't look too awful for sitting in the field for almost 20 years. It's just coming together nicely. Well, I got told to film whatever I'm doing today, so I figured I'd try and remove the alarm system that is aftermarket because it doesn't work, and I think it could be one of my short circuits for something in here. You know, the less wires I have, the less things I have to check. So it comes up to the hood right here, and then when that's compressed, it's on, and when it comes up, you know, it triggers it, but that's not really working well. And it comes to this box here with all the wires out of it, and then they plug into the wiring harness underneath the dash for the lights, and then you got the little LED light. I think you can see it there in the dash that lights up, and then there's one for the trunk and the doors as well. So there's a lot of wires in it, and I'm not sure really what it does because it's never worked for me, and it is a pain in the butt to deal with, like 400 extra wires. So I'm going to go ahead and take out these pins and try and get everything up here wire-wise, and then go from there. Well, that was surprisingly easy. I just had to take these two off here, and then one on each side. Take this out, which had two Phillips bits underneath it holding it all together, and then disconnected these two here from the wiring harness. So now I'm gonna cut these zip ties, and I'm gonna pull out these wires down the back and hope this does not affect my ignition, because if it does, I'm going to cry. So I've got underneath the dash now because I got it all traced back, and it's those couple right there. So behind the vents, behind the parking brake, behind literally everything is the wires I want. And then I'm not really sure what they connect to under here. So instead of just randomly pulling things, and that's how I'm gonna not have my car start, I am gonna wait until I get one of my buddies out here to help me, who actually knows more about electronics than I do, because, you know, as primitive as this car is, I still don't feel like trying my hardest, because I feel like I'm gonna do something that I'm going to regret in like a couple of days. So we will wait and see until I get this out. Well, the carpet's all but out now, or at least for the rear carpet. There's 2 carpets in the car, so I got the rear carpet out. But the mozzies, the mosquitoes, are starting to come out in full force. So I'm gonna go inside for a couple of hours until they die down, and then I'm gonna work on getting the front carpet out. Now that I got all the wiring out that I needed out, I can just work on this. You know, weight reductions. The more noise canceling foam I remove, the faster the car goes, right? Nothing could go wrong with that. Well, I've made it not even 2 feet yet, and I've removed like 8 or 9 zip ties that I've gotten off, and there's still like another 20 back there. So I'm not really sure who decided to do this, but whoever it was had pretty good organization, if you will. But also they tied literally every single pump together, and it's annoying me. Well, this was relatively easy. It was a 7/16 bit, and that got this out. And then I disconnected the wire from the bottom, so we will see how well these want to pull out. Because it was these 2 here, and I think they just come on over here to come out. Yeah, so it's not too bad. And then this one goes up into here, so that should take care of that once I remove this. Okay, so I got most of it on out. I realized that most of it was chewed through by mice. Like the light in the dash was completely chewed through, the lines in the trunk were completely chewed through. So I was like, wait a minute, none of this is affecting the car. So I got it all out. Literally everything has tooth marks in it and is destroyed. So it wasn't going to affect me to take it out anyways or not. But there we go, we got this entire mess out. There is like a 6-inch piece in the trunk I couldn't get to because it's behind the fender well and the wire was broken to it. But that is all of those pieces out and done, which now means we no longer have that in the car. You know what? Weight reductions. That's what we're calling this. The whole like 7 ounces I took out. You know what? It will add up eventually. I also got the driver's seat out because without taking that out, I couldn't get here and get that out and get under there comfortably. I could have done it without being comfortable. I'm like, nah, I got the time. So I popped out. All of the seats are now all out, but I gotta get that seat belt out. But once that's out, that'll be all ready for the carpet to come out, and then new interior can go in once I get this all sandblasted and cleaned up, wire wheeled. So we'll see how long that takes me. I'll probably get it done by Sunday or so. Now that I am a jobless bum, I can put all of my time and money into this. Well, I was able to see my first look of the under carpet now that I pulled this all out. Ugh. It is solid. This is a questionable decision on my part, but it holds about 150 pounds and not too rusty. There's no holes in it, not that I can see anyways, so this will wire wheel up nicely, I think. And then the paint's all chipping off of this here, but that's all not too bad. The smell that stirred everything up is not great. The front is equally as bad, I guess, but there's no holes there or anything, which I find surprising. The other side is in significantly better condition. Doesn't look like any water sat over here. And you know, it also goes for the side of the car as well, because the door right here has some paint bubbles and stuff like that. And then right back here, I guess it was the way it was parked, the water ate through. But on this side over here, the fender back here there's a little bit of paint bubble right here, but it's real solid. And the entire door is real solid too. There's some paint bubble right here, but other than that, this entire fender and door is really good. So is this entire side of the subframe. It's just over there that water collected, it appears. I'm not really sure why that is, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes. So that side will need more TLC than this side. Let me put this stuff back in. And here we go. We got this side done. What does this side look like? That is really good, surprisingly. Man, I can work with that. There's almost no rust or water down there at all. This side of the car might actually clean up, but we'll see. Doesn't look too awful. Well, it's coming together pretty good. The wire wheel, not whatever the paint strip wheel, is starting to give up on me, so I'm gonna have to get a couple more. I ordered like 20 of them. They're coming tomorrow, but I found this one in one of my welding boxes, so I figured I'd use him till he died. I got most of the rust stripped out of this. I'm gonna probably come back over this and just make sure everything is off. It's shining up nicely. There's a little bit of in rust here, but nothing that I can't get off. It's all coming together pretty good. Pretty shiny, pretty good metal underneath. Wasn't expecting it to be this clean, if I'm being honest. I was expecting there to be a lot more bad rust. I'm like 15 shades of brown at this point, but it's coming together. Gotta get back there and that side before I put the carpet back in and paint it. So this is gonna be a fun project. Well, my wheel has officially exploded, so I am gonna call it a night now and just get this done. But yeah, it's coming together pretty good. Got pretty shiny back there, shiny up here. I started going over there. I'm gonna hopping all around until I get it all shiny, and then I'll get back there. But this is the most important spot right now, I think. So that's what I'm gonna be focusing on. Well, I got most of the inside wire wheeled there. So a long way from good, but I figured I'd jump onto these for a little bit. So I started wire wheeling up the back, roughing it up, trying to get all the glue off and everything. And then I realized these tracks come off. It's 3 Phillips screws, one here, and one here. So that'll pop off, then wire wheel behind that. And I was gonna just paint the back, but I started wire wheeling the front because all down here was flaking off. Still solid, it's just real flaky. So I'll get most of this off, and then I'll throw another coat of black paint on this. I was considering redoing it the blue, but I can't find a can of that spray paint, so I'm just gonna paint it black. And then I guess we're doing a gothic car, goth and purple. I didn't think that was gonna be the theme, but that's what it's panning out to be, it looks like. So we'll see how well my gloss black does it. If it doesn't look good, I'll wire wheel that off again and throw another coat of something else on it. But you know, time to experiment.